Thanks for the support as a channel member, Kieran Hodgkinson. Final 2 games of the regular season today. We have qualified for the playoffs, but with 2 games still to play, we could finish anywhere between 2nd and 7th within those playoffs. So we kind of need to do well today to set us up for tomorrow, really. Hello and welcome to part 36 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games for you in the National League. We're away against Swindon and at home against Maidenhead. As you can see from the league table here, the playoffs are already decided with 2 games to go, or at least the teams that are going to be in those playoffs. York have already won the league thanks to all of their money. I think we did discover where the money came from. It's Ben Godfrey who came through the York system. The York youth system, but I think up there in Yorkshire they do call it the youth York system. But Ben Godfrey, who started out at York, went to Norwich. Presumably they got a bunch of money there when he went to Manchester City, and then a bunch more money this summer when he went to PSG from Manchester City. If we were to track York spending, I imagine it just about lines up with when he's made those big moves. So I think the first one was this year. They didn't spend a lot there. Perhaps they cleared debt. So there you go. They did spend a little bit. For a team York size, that's a lot of money to spend, I think. Signing Jack Taylor, good piece of business. And then, yeah, they're spending it over the course of a few years and then throwing a load more at it this year, which has been enough to buy them promotion. So they're already up. But the rest of us, we've just got to sort out what order we're going to be in. It would be a bit of a long shot for us to finish second. I did say in the intro we could finish second, but Boston have just about got that wrapped up. But we could comfortably finish third, but just as easily finish 7th. Obviously, we'd rather finish 3rd than 7th because of the way these silly 16 playoffs work. If we finish in the top 2, we play 1 fewer game because the first round of the playoffs is 4th versus 7th and then 5th versus 6th. So priority is win both of these games, finish 3rd, and then just have a little bit of an easier run through the playoffs, because not only do you play 1 fewer game, but you're then also at home for the semi-final. So we definitely want to be doing that. This is the team we're putting out there for the Swindon game first up. We've got Anang in goal, a back 4 of Garrett, Wills, Dootson and Seaman, Vince Cole, Pack, Cornell and Williams in midfield, and then Quinn and Bond up front. Let's get into the game and let's hopefully win the first of 2, get the first of 2 wins on today's episode. That's what we're looking for. You'll note Spencer is still knocking around the team, despite me threatening, I think 2 days in a row now, that you'd never see him again. And the only problem is Williams has proven to be a little bit injury prone this season. He's only just back in the team and probably not fit enough to play a full game. As you can see, Luke Plange actually played on the right wing from the start in the last game. He wasn't very good at it, as you can imagine. So Williams back in today, but Spencer needs to be there on the bench, because as and when Williams has to come off, I think Spencer's probably going to have to come on. But Swindon, surely he was a mile offside there if it has been given as an offside. Excellent stuff. Not that it really mattered, because they didn't score from it. Swindon are a team I'm surprised to see at this level. Even more surprised to see that they're not one of the... they are one of the teams up in the playoffs. That's why I couldn't see them. So this is actually a little bit of a preview for what could be happening in the playoffs. We could conceivably play them again tomorrow. And they've already gone 1-0 up against us, showing the importance of being the home team, really. They've got a player who's got 29 goals, which is, that puts him in Bond and Quinn territory. So we need to keep a little bit of an eye on him. If nothing else, we need to injure him so they don't have him for the playoffs, which probably they're thinking to do the same thing to our 2 delightful strikers. But Swindon look like a good side here. This doesn't bode well for us at the moment, because they're playing very well at the moment. They've got themselves nestled into that 3rd place spot, and if things end as they are, the highest we can finish is the 5th place that we're currently in. And to be honest, there's not much benefit in finishing 5th rather than 7th, other than the fact in that quarterfinal, I guess it's called, of the playoffs, you're then the home team if you're 4th or 5th. But we really don't want to be thinking about that. We want to be winning both of these games and getting up into that 3rd place spot, because even you get the advantage, you get the one less game, but also you get that momentum. The worst thing you can do with the playoffs is go into the playoffs in poor form, because we all know how important form and momentum is in Football Manager. If you're not in good form going into the playoffs, you basically stand no chance of actually succeeding in the playoffs. Anang does okay there, and Dootson gets him out of trouble the rest of the way. If we'd have gone 2-0 down at that point, it would be a little bit of a worry. We're going to go creative. We're also going to go to positive. We're going to go and attack them now, because they're looking disinterested. Well, they were. They're now composed again. But if they're not interested anymore, it's time for us to go at them. We're asking for 10 minutes of passion before half-time. Pack plays it out to Garrett. Garrett forward to Vince Cole. And now would be a good opportunity to whip across in and grab an equaliser. But he's tackled, and now Swindon have got the opportunity for a counter-attack. They're in here, and Anang again makes a good save. But Swindon have definitely been the better team here today. And I don't think we can put it all down to them just being the home side. They're clearly a little bit better than we are. And I think as the season's gone on, I've become less and less confident about how good this Bourne team is. We've got a couple of very good strikers and a very good central midfielder, but there are certainly areas in the team where we could look to improve in the summer. Both wings, I think 3 of the 4 spots in the defence, probably along with Dootson, goalkeeper, the other midfielder alongside Pack, and probably need to replace Pack as well. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done before this is a team that's ready to really push on and succeed. And as you can see, as I'm saying all of that, Swindon go 2-0 up, and any hopes we had of avoiding a playoff quarter-final are pretty much out of the window at this point, because we need a spectacular second half and to carry that form over into that final game of the season as well. And at the moment, that feels like a big if, when we've only managed 1 shot on target in the entire first half, less than 40% possession. We've just not played very well. We're going to aggressively say not happy. We're already playing positively, so we're already trying to attack and get back into the game. We just need someone to get a hold of the game and get that job done. Pack could be the man to do it. It's a lovely free kick, and Cornell with the header that comes back off the post, and a little bit of luck there, and we grab a goal back immediately at the start of this second half and start to feel a little bit like we might be able to do it. But luck just doesn't seem to be with us at the moment, and it's very sad. Vince Cole, once again, rather than trying to beat his man and get a cross in, he's just faffing about. I wish he faffed less. He comes in field far too often. He needs to be staying out wide and crossing. And look, he's anxious now because I'm talking about him. Well, just, you're a winger, for goodness sake. Get out wide and cross to the 2 big lads. It's literally the tactic that we're playing, but for some reason you choose to cut in field rather than doing what you're told. Right, Spencer is on for Williams. We're going to bring Plange on for Quinn. And we're also, you know what, we're going to do a triple change. We're going to bring Greenwood on for Garrett as well. Plange needs to drop back to be the supporting striker, because he can't handle being an attacking striker. But to complement that, to counter that, we're going to go to an attacking mentality. I'm going to demand more. And I just want a goal now. They're frustrated. Not as frustrated as I am, that's for sure. Pack with the corner. Again, Pack's not quite on TV game form today, is he? Cornell across to Dootson, back to Seaman, who plays it forward, looking for Bond. Bond is in, and Bond is offside. That felt close to me. Oh, we do get a replay this time, do we? We weren't getting replays with Bourne yesterday. Okay, they are both offside, both Quinn and Bond, but it didn't feel like that to me. I want 10 minutes of passion to finish things off, but I think we've only just demanded more, haven't we? Bond is in a wide area, not really where we want to see him. Vince Cole there. I knew he should have cut infield more and done stuff that wasn't crossing. That's what I've been telling him all along. And Vince Cole grabs a goal back with about 10 minutes left. It's a tidy finish as well. Bond's drifted wide and actually ended up being quite dangerous out there. Seaman with the cross, Plange with the flick on, Vince Cole with an excellent finish. Now we're going to get creative. I shouldn't have asked for passion, but we've got 10 minutes left. Well, we've got 3 minutes left. Grab an equaliser, somebody. We didn't. I'm going to still say not happy. Because, again, this is a team we're probably going to play in the playoffs, or could play in the playoffs. We've got to be better than that against them. Who are we playing next? Maidenhead. They're not in the playoffs, are they? No. Maidenhead are rock bottom of the league. So fingers crossed. We pick up a win against them. End up 4th or 5th. So we get a home tie in that first round. And pick up a little bit of form. That's all we can really hope for now. Right, a couple of changes for the Maidenhead game then. We've had to send Dootson on holiday because he's tired, bless his cotton socks. So he's gone off on his holidays. Ford comes into the team to replace him. We've also got Mundell coming back in midfield. Mitchell comes in on the left-hand side of midfield as well. We've had a 10-day gap between the game we've just played and this game. If I'd have looked at the calendar properly, I probably wouldn't have sent Dootson on holiday because I imagine that would have been long enough for him to have his little rest. We're 12th for form at the moment going into the playoffs. This is not good. Let's assertively show them why we're 12th for form. In fact, I would like to switch to positive immediately as well and attack them a little bit. They're bottom of the league. They're already relegated by a mile as well. 17 points is all they've been able to accumulate, and 51 points is what Dagenham have got to have been safe in this league. So they're so far away from being at the standard of this league that you would think we should be able to absolutely batter them. But we've been in some really tricky form for quite a long time now. I mean, it's pretty much since January, really, and we're in April now. But since January, we've really struggled because up until sort of Christmas, we were neck and neck almost with York, and then York smashed us. I think they beat us 6-2. And it just ruined us, and we've never really recovered from it. But that is a 32nd goal of the season for Matthew Bond. He's not done too bad, has he? I'm saying we've not recovered from it. We've got a 32-goal striker there, so that's a positive, and it's also positive that he is contracted to be here next year as well. So we've got at least another year of Bond, unless someone comes in and offers me a huge pile of cash for him in the summer. Worryingly, though, being ahead in this game is only enough to put us up to keep us in 6th place. And Maidenhead have now equalised almost immediately. So even if we win, unless results go our way in the Telford or Dulwich Hamlet games, or both, then we are looking at being away all the way through the playoffs. So away in the quarter-final against one of those two. So I think we would be away as it stands to Dulwich Hamlet. And then the winner of that, I think, goes away to Swindon. And then the final, I think at this level, the final goes to Wembley. But don't quote me on it. It might be away again in the final to the winner of the other side of the playoffs. Right, Mundell gets hold of the ball in midfield, plays it out to Mitchell, who has space to run into on this left-hand side. If he can beat his man, he can get a cross in. He can do neither, but Garrett plays him back in again, and Mitchell tries to be clever and nod it into Quinn, but it's a poor header, and it's put us back under pressure, and Maidenhead are coming at us now on the counter-attack. And if we can't beat Maidenhead today, we may as well just withdraw from the playoffs, because it isn't going to happen for us. Our form, the bottom has fallen out of our form, and it's very worrying to watch. And Maidenhead look most like scoring at the moment. They've just had that goal disallowed, and they're playing quite well. They've gone neck for possession with us. They've had more shots, created more chances. They look like the better team at the moment, and this is our home game, and we're the team that are already in the playoffs. Mitchell plays it into Mundell. Mundell looking for options ahead of him, but ends up playing it all the way back to Pack, who's going to look up and hopefully hit one of his mega passes. He doesn't, so we give it back to him to get him to try again. Garrett now in loads of space to cross, and I think we've won a penalty there, and Pack is stepping up to take. It was a foul on, I think, Quinn, and Pack now with the chance in the 40th minute to put us back ahead in this game. Pack steps up and scores because he's Marlon Pack, and that's what he does. An 8th goal of the season now. I think at last count, he also had 22 assists. So Marlon Pack has now been involved in 30 goals this season. I talk a lot about how good the two strikers have been with their scoring 30 goals each. But for Pack to be involved in 30 goals as a 36, I think, year old midfielder, he's a good player. He's a good player who's had a good season. And I mean, there's no, I keep saying we're probably not going to have him next year because he'll be too old, but He's been involved in 30 goals this year. What is there to suggest he can't do it again next year if we're in this league? If we get promoted, I think it's a different matter, but I don't think we're likely to get promoted. Bond is in here, and Bond scores again. Number 33 for him. It's an assist for Mitchell, and that does put us up to 5th place. So that is huge, because all it does is swap us around with Dulwich Hamlet, but it means rather than us playing that quarterfinal game at their place, we get to play it here at Abbey Lawn, and that is a difference maker, because we'll only have 10 fans if we have to go away, whereas if we're at home we'll have maybe 200, and they'll bring 5,000 with them and not be able to get in. But still, it's got to be a bonus to play that first game at home. And it looks like, presumably it's a goal difference thing that's making that happen. No, it can't be. They must have just gone behind in their game. Where are they? Who are they even playing? Why can't I see them anywhere? Oh, they're away against Aldershot and losing. Right, that is important. Williams, I'm going to take off again and bring on Plange. I know he's had that 10-day gap now, but he's still recovering from an injury, and we still need to look after him. He is an important player on that right-hand side. Garrett can come off. Greenwood can come on as usual, and we'll leave it there for a minute. We're also going to drop down to a balanced mentality, drop a little bit of praise. I want the lads to know they are doing all right today for the first time in a little while. Yes, we're playing against a team who aren't any good, but still, they're doing all right. Cornell can come on for Mundell as usual. And we are still in 5th place at the moment. Mitchell with the header, and it just bounces off the top of the crossbar and goes out for a goal kick. Dulwich Hamlet have equalised against Aldershot. It's like last year all over again. These late goals from other teams ruin us. Justin Bieber's dad has scored for them. Quinn, I mean, there's nothing we can do. It's completely out of our hands. We just need Aldershot to grab a goal. Cornell plays it all the way back to White. White with the ball forward for Bond. Bond is on a hat-trick but can't quite turn his shot goalwards. And all eyes on the Aldershot Dulwich Hamlet game, and I don't think it went our way in the end. So we are going to be away from home all the way through the playoffs. I say all the way through, that's assuming we navigate that first game. We haven't had the confirmation through yet that that's who we play, but I'm fairly confident that is how it works. So if we just have a little look to see how we've done against them in the league this season. Can we see them anywhere? Dulwich Hamlet, we beat them 6-3 at home. So our home game would have been lovely. And in the away game against them, we won 4-2. So we've scored 10 goals against this team this season. I'd like to think we should be able to beat them. And that will be tomorrow's video. So we play against them. If we beat them, we then have a semi-final that claims it's not drawn yet, but I'm pretty sure the winner of 5th and 6th plays away from home against 3rd. So if we can beat them, we then go away to Swindon, and we all know how that turns out because we did that in this episode. So we need to get some form together somehow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.